All right, we are going to call the Policy Committee meeting to order. It is 4:30 p.m. Noting the attendance of all committee members, myself, Marie Hansel, Ashley Flickling, and then as well as Brad Schroeder, Adrienne Diachenko, and Ashley Belt. There is no public comment, so we will move on to Press Policy 121. All right, we won't go over anything that is verbiage or legal updates. The policy was emailed to us. Do we just want to go through them, or anyone have specific questions? So we have to make a decision about 2:200 about placing the agenda at the locations of meetings. So if we would need to place it at our meeting place, which would be the doors of the high school, or if we just want to continue with status quo, which is on the district door as well as we post on the website.
I would say the way it's always been.
Yeah,
I've never had a complaint or anything about that being inaccessible or not good enough.
And honestly, online is probably the most important.
Yes, most people are going to look at.
Right,
Yes.
right.
2:220 is to discuss adding comments from the public to the board, adding them as agenda items to the meeting. So if they would come in and request an agenda item, that we could add it right then and there.
Most of the things I feel like that we have that do comments are already our agenda items. Like a lot of times it's like, you know, always say, well, if you stay to this, your thing will be answered. If you stay till this, your thing will be answered.
Right.
I feel like you
But like I
can-
said, like Dr. Gaham said, like, you won't have an answer necessarily, like,
Correct.
And then we're just gonna have marathon meetings.
Well, and not only that, but I just,
Or potential.
Yeah.
another one of my concerns is if somebody comes and makes a comment and they want it added to that meeting, and we open kind of the door to that thing, it doesn't give the other people in the community to form an opinion or give
Oh,
their
yeah,
opinion
yeah.
as
Yeah, I
well.
didn't even
So,
think
I
of
mean,
that aspect,
I think
yeah.
if someone wants to discuss something, I personally feel that our board is pretty good about taking items that are sent in for concern to the board or to the superintendent, and we try to address it, whether it's in an administration report or a superintendent report. So I
Right,
would
and
I agree.
I don't think that's general practice is to address public comments during them. In fact, actually, you're not supposed to address them. Just
It's more
listen.
for a committee meeting.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was the proposal by down south of responding to public comment.
Oh,
Because by
okay.
making it a discussion item, now you have to address my concern as opposed to,
Oh, versus I just state it and that's it.
that's a big deal right there.
Well, like, and if it's a legal item, then we have to refer to the lawyer, and we could put our foot in our mouth and be in big trouble.
And also depending on how you do this, if you know, if Marie comes and says, well, I want this on the agenda, and Adriana says, I want this on the agenda, and Ashley says, I want this on the agenda, you guys theoretically would then have to approve those three things added to the agenda, and what happens when Adriana's thing doesn't get added?
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly.
now it's favoritism versus, well, that's not something that's,
Yeah.
that is a,
I don't think that's good practice.
I mean, as long as we just tell people like, hey, if you bring something up, we put it on our radar and we will address it somehow.
Well, like
We're not ignoring you, but we're not gonna talk about it
the
tonight.
last board meeting, I think they did it nicely with the
Elementary.
lunch thing,
Yeah.
yeah, the recess.
Well, I had parents come up to me and I said, did you email the principal? Did you email the superintendent? You can email us, I'll put it on our radar, but we're gonna kick it right back.
Right, well, like I said, I mean,
They did.
if they bring it to us, it's usually addressed at some point in
the
time. It
meeting,
might not be
right.
addressed at public comment or adding it to an agenda, but we do address it in our
Yeah.
reports. So I say keep it
Until we're
as
told
is,
not to.
status quo.
Until we're told to change.
2.250 removes the junk mail requirement. So it excludes junk mail from FOIA requests.
It also removes my need to open attachments and use hyperlinks for security purposes, I
Yeah.
guess. This is just for the FOIA officer.
Right, I mean, and that, I would think those hyperlinks would cause some security concerns as well, so.
I'd say it was cold all day.
There is if you look at 2260 with Mrs. Black departing, we will need a new complaint manager. So my recommendation was, because obviously I'm a male, I would like to have a female as a complaint manager. Mike's retiring soon, so I don't want Mike to do it. Kelly's gonna be brand new, and so by default, Michelle's stuck with it. So as long as nobody's a problem with Michelle, I'll make sure she gets trained.
Does Michelle have a problem with it?
Other duties as
It's just-
assigned.
That's a little line
I've heard
in
that
there.
last line before.
Yeah, that's that last line in our contract. Other duties as assigned.
Like coming to policy meetings, he's the only one. Look at this guy.
Right, look at that.
Living the dream.
Should've shown.
3.40 is updated process for hiring superintendents, so. Uh-oh.
That's what.
So we have we use a firm, I don't think I was here.
Well,
when
we have
did that.
So the last
In
superintendent
the
was not hired.
policy, we
for-
also have steps in our policy.
Okay,
A lot of people use firms, we use one to hire our neighbors, so.
Yeah, in general, that's what you do.
Literally,
Just
yeah.
so happy to get somebody in staff that was qualified. Kind of. That's the question.
so do we need to update that, or it's just, that's what
It is being updated. It's just an updated
Perfect.
checklist. It's more of an FYI, folks.
Okay.
I think it was 60 when they looked for him. And
I'll
he
make
was
sure Michelle has
in-house.
all those
We
qualifications.
spent 80,000 to grab a person from Bourbon and another 80 to grab one from East Aurora.
There's no other real decisions that we need to make on anything else? So these are just, anybody else have any questions about anything else? There's lots of legal updates, verbiage updates.
And Brady did ask, just to make sure everybody's clear, when I write legal update, that just means that there's been a court case that has been either, it's a new year or it's been modified to a previous court date. It doesn't change the policy, it just
It
says, hey.
just changes the stature
Yep.
that it falls under. Okay, any other questions? Comments, concerns? So we'll make a recommendation to approve the updates at the next board meeting,
First reading.
first reading.
Yep.
Okay.
What I'll do is I'll update 220 and 200 to actually say that the policy committee suggested keeping, and then no, and that I'll send it back out to you guys.
All right, then next up is the cell phone policy. We're headed in the direction that we are going to need one.
And I sent my idea to those that are on the committee, but not everyone, sorry.
So what is the state gonna do? Are they just like making a rule, like the school district can decide what they wanna do, or?
We
So
don't know.
what's gonna happen, what's basically gonna happen, yes, the answer to that is yes and no. They're going to, the state's basically gonna come down and say that every school district has to have a policy in place that addresses cell phone usage. And I believe as a secondary part of that, the limited, if not removal of usage during instructional time. Now, what you deem instructional time, is that from 7:30 to 3, or 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock? Is that time when teachers are teaching? That's kind of the gray area. But yes, every school has to come up with a policy.
And the policy I shared that I had from a school district that the state, it's a different state because the state did mandate that you couldn't do it. It was start to finish. It wasn't in between classes, it wasn't, but that's also why I asked when Mr. Duncan said that we were getting our new system here, does it have the capability for each classroom to have a phone? Because I really do believe each classroom needs a phone. It's even hard when you try to pick up your kid and stuff and they're trying to go through emails or messages or something like that. That alleviates the issue of, well, they can't communicate. But you can come, I mean, I've come to pick up kids here at the high school and in between classes, kids are yelling on their phones, because it's not instructional time as what we have now. And they're cussing on their phones, they're watching videos, they're late to class, because after the bell rings, they're still out in the hallway on their phone. And then they're getting in trouble, and it's just, that's issues I think I've kind of been on this, but I know that the staff needs the board support to make sure we all agree with this, to be able to implement it, because we kind of tried before. Because people say, oh, there are, social media bullying problems and things like that. Well, if they can't be on social media at school, that's gonna help with that. Also, you can talk to any staff member in this district that teaches kids that are allowed to have their phones at any time. The kids will sneak them, they will be on them, it's a constant battle or fighting, or they just don't want to do their work, they'll be hiding and looking at their phone instead of, it's also messing up our instructional that the kids are getting. So it's messing up education, and then it's messing with mental health. So I don't really see a positive for them having it, other than their mommy can talk to them. Well, if your mommy wants to talk to you, your mommy can call the school.
799-946.
Because when I was in school and my parent needed to get a hold of me, and same thing, I had cell phones when I was in school, our rule was it had to be off when you entered the building. If it was seen at all, it was taken. Your parent had to come get it. And we survived. And yes, I went to high school in an age where school shootings were around. So the security aspect of it, I don't think validates the issues that we're having, because if you talk to anyone, they'll have all the issues we kind of have in the community, of bullying, social media, those kind of things. Eliminate it out of our school. You talk to any one of our teachers and the staff member, and anything they would want to change, it would be phones in the classroom.
So I guess that's the question, because I had 2 kids that went to school here, is the most of what I experienced is they would have to put the phones away, but after there was downtime, they finished their work, they finished their test and something, they were allowed to have their phones. So I think at the time this was last discussed, it was like, well, is that, do all the teachers going to enforce that?
See, that's the other issue I have. Oh, well, this teacher allows this. I think it's just
Right.
easier if it's a flat. We don't have them during school. You don't need them, because the problem is, oh, well, I finished my work. Well, no, you didn't. But then that becomes a management issue in the classroom of the teacher having to fight with the student about, well, I show you, it's just a power struggle. And then it gets to, okay, then you have teachers that aren't willing to fight because, one, they just don't want the battle. They don't want the parents up here because you said something about my kid. It causes more of an issue for an admin having to deal with that issue when they can't do their actual job because of issues with cell phones. I think that's a little ridiculous if our job is to educate children.
My kids, they cannot use their cell phones in the classroom, period. You get one warning. Second warning, I get to take it, I lock it in the room. Third warning goes to the dean's office, your mom gets to pick it up after school. They can use it in the hallways and in whatever, and I am so tired of the TikToks and all the other junk during passing hour. But I can tell you, at the elementary, those kids have their cell phones because the kids will come home and complain that those kids are being allowed to use them in the hallways, in the classroom, at recess, at lunch, and there's a lot of bullying. Some of those kids are just mean, or they're just watching stuff, and they're not supposed to.
See, at my job, it has to be off when you enter the building, and it cannot go off. You don't get to turn it back on until you exit the building at the end of the day.
But see, how do if you put certain things in a policy, you have to, as you said.
You just have to monitor.
That's why I said, I think that,
You just gotta monitor it.
I mean, if they have them.
What is
you can't
monitored?
control if they're on or not.
Yeah, you can.
How
We
can
take
you?
them.
How do you know? If I have mine on silence and,
well, ours
Just
they
don't put
can't
it
be
out.
on them, like they
Yeah.
have to be in,
do you have
Like-
lockers to lock them up?
Yeah.
Okay,
and that's it, in this school, we have everyone's got
Yeah, so
lockers.
Elementary
Yeah.
does 2 grades, 3 through 5.
that's what we had cell phone
Locks them,
lockers.
right?
I know, I saw you're right.
What's our liability if they're in lockers?
Well, they have a lock.
Your liability?
Yeah.
The only liability you ever run into is if you take them and something happens when they're in your possession.
That's it, yes.
That's,
But you don't have any kind of security liability. I mean, the fact that I can't text my son because it's in the locker is not a thing. I mean, it's a thing, but it's not.
No, but
But-
security wise, if someone breaks into another kid's locker, like, can they,
They have locks.
if a kid keeps his phone in his locker
It's,
and the kid, doesn't do the lock securely or,
It's the same liability you have if I have,
Backpack, shoes.
my wallets and my backpack in my lockers.
Yeah.
By the way, the number of kids, I know that's the hypothetical, that actually break into a locker is absolutely minimal. Absolutely.
Oh, it's-
What happens is,
I can-
I leave my locker unlocked, I don't
I
put the
don't
lock on my
unlock,
locker,
yeah.
my
Yeah.
buddy has my locker combination. That's
I
what
can-
Or I'm
happens.
sharing a locker around the.
And we have
entire
cameras
building.
everywhere that can do it.
Yeah.
So just so, I hear everybody,
I know.
trust me, okay? Two parts to this. One, the policy itself is, Brandy pointed out, it's kind of general, it's supposed to be. When it comes to the buildings, elementary is 100% said they don't want them, that they would actually like the either locker or backpack thing. The junior high says the same thing, locker or backpack, put them away. Mike had, I'm gonna let Mike talk here, Mike had a staff meeting today because again, as you noted, staff needs to make sure they're all on the same page, and we also need to know what staff feels about this. And the high school, in my opinion, is a little different than K-8.
Definitely.
So with that being said, Mike, give us your 2 cents.
So what we would like would be, let's go with the nose first. So within the classroom, you walk in, you put it in the calculator case that we would buy, or Ms. Munson said there's a box now
Yeah.
that she bought for $35 that she has that it's on the floor, whatever it is, and you
Yeah.
close it and there's no use. So they would not use it, so you walk in, you have it on you, you walk in and you put it in the case or the calculator case or the box.
Right.
Such as then, like a teacher just, so we know like 504s, IEPs, yes. If you need it, if you're a diabetic,
Medical, yeah.
yes. And I told the staff, you're just gonna have to deal with it, the kids are gonna have to get over, well, why can't you, whatever, it's none of your business, number one. But we'll get through that, they were fine with all that. Also no in study hall, so no in class, no in study hall. Yes, before school, after school. Yes, lunch. Yes, hallways or passing periods, because if we said, put them in your locker. I need to go to my locker, I forgot my pencil. I need to go to my locker, I forgot my books. I forgot. So then they're gonna go to their locker and they're gonna mess around, or they're gonna go to the bathroom with their phone and they're gonna mess around. So if they're already in the rooms, then they can't go to the locker to get their phone, to go to the bathroom to meet their friends. So we were okay with passing periods because also a couple of teachers I thought were great points. We're gonna do more policing in the hallways than teaching. I don't need to, when they're walking around, and especially this corner, this is like, Interstate 80. I mean, this is a mess through here, because it's just everybody. And Ms. Munson made a great point, about, now it's, you're doing all this, and then now am I still policing because they're late to class because of, and they were like, we need to count them tardy. We stopped just being nice and let them in and blah, 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 blah. So
I was surprised how many people after the tardy bell rang when I was sitting here the other day for an IEP meeting that were still in the hallways. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
That-
And just blatantly like cussing on, I was like, and it was also, I mean, and no fault of you, you were at lunch because you were doing lunch duty because Ogden was in IEP meetings and things like that, so it was short that day. All the admin were in IEP meetings or lunch, but I was just like, you could tell it was normal because they didn't act like it was any big deal.
And they even
Yeah.
said they gotta do a better job of marking targets, because you're right, there are some teachers that are like, come on in, hurry up, sit down.
I know.
There's also teachers that are, if the bell rings and you're not seated, you're tardy. I'm not really big on that, you're in the room, but whatever. Okay, so, but we also said, like production class, they're gonna use their phones because that's how they tape. That's how they go do interviews. Okay, that's a teacher discretion, that's a class that we use it. PE also said, hey, when they will run the mile, when they time this, let's have music. That's okay. But it's not every day in PE class, but it is periodically teacher discretion. And I said, I hope I can trust you guys with this. If there's a project for some reason you need a phone and not the Chromebook, it's not a month project. It's a day or two that you're allowing those.
Instructional.
So yeah, instructional. So we said, no in the classroom. They walk in, they put it on the calculator. Sorry, they put it in the case or the box. Teacher discretion if they need it for a project, and no to study hall. Yes, before school, after school, hallways, passing periods, just because we didn't want them in the lockers because they would say then they're out of class, and we didn't want that. Lunch, we said 504 IEPs, we said production class PE. And then we did kind of the same, it's kind of similar to what Adriana said, kind of what we already have in place in our handbook with consequences. 1's a warning, 2 is confiscate, teacher calls home, 3 is confiscate, this is Bob's edition. Teacher, like a 15-minute after school, because there's the 3rd, then the fourth is dean, and then it's, 30, 60, 90, whatever, 2 hours for detention. And I said to Bob, if we get that far, then we need to have a BIP plan that says, when you walk in the door, you put it on the, you don't even get a chance to even have it, because you've abused it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is your 9th time and you can't figure it out. So, as in a high schooler, come on. So that's kind of what we
None
talk
of your friends have their phones, so you don't need it. Who are you talking to?
So are they, let me ask a question.
And what you
because I don't
said is
know.
right earlier, and that's what we still do today. There are teachers there are teachers right now that do what we just said. There are also teachers that say, hey, I'm done with my homework. Yep, you can just sit down, be quiet, and you can listen to your music or whatever. Yes, we still have some of that. It's probably a little bit, I don't know if it's as much as it used to be, but I think even PAV kind of bought into, so PAV now bought paper bags this year. And so they had to put it, so if he caught him, they put him in a paper bag and put it right in front of him. So I mean, even, and he's.
No, they've been pretty strict, because I texted my child, I missed the time, usually I do passing hour, he's like, I'm gonna get in trouble, I gotta put it away.
So I mean,
I was like, okay.
I'm just, right, there are some people
I thought it was study
that-
hall or whatever, and I was
Yeah.
like, oh, shoot, he's still in class.
But we do it in study hall now, but they were like, no, if it's gonna be instructional time. And I said, the only reason why I'm for study hall, if we need it, is because of the spring. Baseball, softball,
That's
soccer,
what it-
they're
yeah.
all canceled, and you get it out to your parents before, but Brandon does a really nice job of
Oh, yeah.
getting on whatever it is.
But that's when
Snap
like,
and-
the teacher can say, hey, if you're in soccer, text your parents, like you can take it
Yeah.
out, text them, let them know your game's getting canceled.
Because the problem was it turned into now nobody uses study hall to actually do what they need to do.
I don't
Because they want to sit
shit.
on their phones. Like, that's what it kind of got into, because if they can, well, we can have them during study hall, so now everyone's just on social media when it's a perfect time for them to go get help from those teachers and get their work done.
Great idea.
I know, I know.
They're done, just like the
I
teachers
know.
that have prep period, 7th period, like, shit, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I hear you. I hear you. But we do have some kids that seek and do a nice job, but we have others that, nope, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. Yep, no, I hear you. That was our conversation today.
So are they, let me just ask this question, because I don't know. So are they making actual phone calls during passing?
They're not supposed to be.
You're not supposed to.
Okay.
We
Oh,
can
yeah,
text,
some of 'em are.
but they are not supposed to. And
Okay,
if you
because I was
do,
gonna say, that should be
you
an
need to call,
absolute no.
right, if I have had kids come up and say, hey, my mom's calling, can I take, yeah, get out of the cafeteria and go down the hall, yes. I've had, hey, can I make a call right here instead of using that, yes. But you're right, Mike, yes. They're not supposed to be
Okay.
calling, no. That is, no.
But there's only so many people, like,
Yeah,
there's a lot of kids in the
Right.
hall and stuff like that, so
And
that's why I
I'm
said no fault to
No,
like,
but I'm just saying, but
You just
like
have to
you
have a
said,
presence.
and one of the things about hallways is monitoring. Okay, this is the same thing I got at the junior high. Well, you want me out in the hallway, then something happens in my classroom. But then in my classroom, something happens in the hallway. So it's kind of a
yeah, you have to just go
double-edged.
back and
Yeah,
forth, go back and forth, go
and
back.
I tell you, I probably have, I don't know, I'm making this number up. Let's say I have 20 teachers. I have probably 8 to 10 solid teachers that are in the hallway every period. One leg's in the doorway, one leg's outside looking, and then I've got the rest of them that just sit in their room. So, but I got, like I said, I got 8 to 10 that are pretty solid, but there's a lot that don't ever get out of their room. And that's why Bob sits down here, and that's why I try to be in the front hallway, just so you can get both corners, and it's fine. We make it work, but no, to say that everybody's in the hallway and doing this. So that's why they were like, hey, the hallway is, it's hard to monitor, let's, whatever.
Yeah,
Well, I mean, I
we always
think
get calls, like, you have to be in the hallway. Like, I've had principals pop in, the admins will come into our room, why are you in your room? If we're all sitting in our classrooms. We have to, because a lot of us, there's some people that.
And you get
we've
busy,
got
you get
corners.
caught up, you're
Oh, yeah.
grading, you're talking to a kid. I get all that, and I just know that
You just have to be in the
that
hallways.
some of them are fantastic and others pulling teeth.
Here's a question, because we had this, those Apple Watches.
I was gonna say.
We have to remind the kids, because I know in the elementary, I think watches in there too, because like my kids
Yeah,
got
yeah.
a smart watch,
Yeah.
and it's just an
Yeah.
Apple, it's like a gizmo. But like the high schoolers, to remind them, I think in there, like, what was that?
Also was brought up today, those glasses.
Yeah, we were just saying that too. We
glasses.
just included meta glasses as part of our plan for next year because kids can take pictures
Yep.
and they can cheat on tests because it's like Google.
we know we have one kid, we got a freshman.
Yes,
that's all we have.
it's a meta
Meta
class, so
class.
you can have a prescription, and in order to wear them, it's like the IEP, you have to go to the nurse and they have to put it in power school, because kids are getting these, and you can tell, because they're like super thick.
And you can see on the side,
Uh-huh.
nursing students, biggest cheaters out of any students are nursing.
Because of the ACT, we were like,
1900s.
Just-
So when I would say whatever, if the
I know you
staff,
guys know
that's what
this.
they're saying they want, that's what they're willing to
There's no
back.
policy.
So that's-
I had-
yeah.
There's no
majority.
plan that you're gonna create tonight or in
No.
the next decade that's
No.
gonna address every
they'll come out with
one.
something new next week.
Correct, so the best, your hope is find out something, I'm sorry. Come up with a general plan and then try to implement it and support and then fix, support.
Well, also we
fix.
have to make sure we're all going to support it, because that's the other thing too, like, all of the teachers have to support and back it, but they also know if the board is not supporting and backing it, that's also, ain't gonna have their back, because if you get parents that complain and wanna come to us, we have to have their back, it has to go through the chain, or it's not gonna work, which is the problem when we tried this a couple of years ago we had. You know, some of the teachers didn't buy in, and the parents didn't buy in, and it just kinda crumbles.
Well, I mean, I think that we need to take, as a board, we probably need to take the teacher's lead. We need to set realistic goals, because if we set something way up here and not every teacher buys in, or they don't have the time to monitor properly, and it gets too difficult to monitor every kid, every second of the day. So I think what's being proposed is a realistic goal for
Well, and I
the
would,
school.
did the, whatever box they have, is that adequate to where you like it? Because I also think that's something the district should provide
Well,
for every classroom.
Munson
Yes,
liked it, it's
exactly.
35
Yeah.
bucks.
Yeah.
But I said the calculator thing's like 6.
So if you
Seven.
look back there, that's, when you keep saying the calculator thing.
It's like a
those-
sheet that's.
It's right there, right behind
One,
the,
2, 3,
But
4,
see, I
5,
think,
6.
okay,
Yeah, the ones you-
personally,
That's what
I
you
think
have
I
at
prefer
college.
the box,
Our box
because the
is
problem
like
you
the
have with that is that
You're watching that.
somebody could throw a fit, somebody could take it and toss
So,
it, you know.
well,
you
what I
really-
told them is, does not go by the door, does not go by the trash
Because
can.
that's what
teacher
I,
It
does.
goes by your desk, and that's where it is, so people don't come up by your desk.
I know.
Or if they do for questions or whatever, and I get it, you're gonna be grading papers, that's why I don't want it by the door, because I'm gonna go throw something away and I'm gonna grab Jimmy's.
Uh-huh.
Well,
Yeah,
That's why I thought if it, well, that's why I thought if it, I wasn't sure what this box you're talking about looks like, and I
I don't
understand.
know either,
If
Munson
it's-
just told me.
If it's like $35,
It's
that's fine.
$35 on
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
this.
I mean,
We have
I,
those, they've got a little lock,
Yeah.
they have a little
They
key,
They like a
and
safe.
the kids, it's just all
I would
numbered.
say that's probably smarter
With a
for
key.
our
I'm open,
liability.
I think they would be open to anything, I just know
Yeah.
that some teachers already have the calculator deal, but Munson just brought that to me, I had no idea. She said it was 35 bucks on something.
Yeah, it's like Walmart's like 40,
Right.
Amazon's like 50.
but that would only be at the high school.
Yes.
The
Yeah.
junior high and elementary,
They said they just went zero.
they want zero, they
Zero.
want it in the locker, they want it out of sight.
Yeah.
And then to extend on that, both of them said, we can do a warning the first go around and say, you need to go take it.
Yeah.
But after that, both, and again, I know Nicole's not gonna be here next year, but I'm assuming Kelly would support it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The second time, we're gonna take it, your parents are gonna come pick it up. And that's when you guys, that's when this board is gonna start getting phone calls.
Yeah.
It's BS that I have to go to the school to pick up my kid's phone.
Yeah.
It's in the
So,
handbook.
that's,
Did you
that's.
sign the handbook?
Correct, that's when you guys start getting a little pushback. There's not gonna be pushback when Johnny has to give it to the teacher and the teacher gives it back to him at the end of the period. Or Johnny's put it in the computer for their calculator thing and gets it back. There's no pushback there. They're not gonna care one iota. It's the second that now I'm gonna be inconvenienced because now it's within the policy and we're gonna implement it.
And if it's stated and they sign the handbook.
And when it happens a couple times, people will.
And it did,
Like
it took us like a quarter and a half, and now the kids are like, put the phone away, she's gonna yell at you. And I was like,
And that's what Bob and I talked about afterwards too. It's
Yeah.
gonna be a rough couple weeks to begin
Yeah,
with.
it is.
But we work with them. I'm not here to throw the book at them right away. We work with you, we transform culture, we do the right thing, hopefully, and then they figure it out. But yes, it's just like tardies. The junior high, we didn't count tardies when I was there until like after Labor Day. You give them a couple weeks to figure out life, and then you go from there.
A student will meet the expectations you set forth.
Yeah.
If you ask them to be there in 3 minutes, they'll be there in 3 minutes, yeah?
Whoa.
My vote would be the district purchase the boxes, just because
I'm
I
fine.
wouldn't want the liability of that falling
I will,
down,
and I
of the
agree.
kid knocking it
I'm-
off,
I'm-
and then you have, well,
I'm in
my
on that.
kid's screen was cracked, even though it might have been cracked
I know,
beforehand.
I'm
But you
fine
got
with
this $1,500 cell phone that
Perfect.
mom is saying
Nope.
got cracked because it
Perfect.
fell. Like, no, like put it in the box, if
Yeah.
the district provides them and it has them, there's no excuse
So we
to
have-
Fantastic.
not use it.
And it comes
And for
with like-
$35 a piece per classroom, that's not crazy.
And no, and it's like you said, it's only the high school, so it's not.
Yeah.
And you come to the lock and a key, so theoretically, like.
Yeah,
PE,
it goes on
they
your
can lock and
lanyard
go
for your
outside.
teachers.
So we'll suggest the board
Yeah.
buys the boxes, and then we will adopt the policy
That
that
they set
was
forth.
Yeah,
sent.
whatever they
So
have,
then
yeah.
each building can make their own decisions and move
Yeah.
forward with what the teachers feel is a realistic.
Yeah, these are all
I
behind
will
our
give you
desks.
updated
Okay.
handbook
Great.
changes
Fine,
before the
fine.
next board
Yeah.
meeting. Mike's gonna be the big one, but we'll make sure there's
Yeah.
updated
Yeah.
handbook changes for you guys to approve first reading that include building-specific requirements for cell phone.
All right.
That works. Yeah, so it took us about a good quarter of an hour.
So then, handbook changes. Did everyone have the opportunity, with the exception of Mr. Myers, who was waiting on our decision, so thank you for that. Any other questions about the handbook changes proposed?
So I'll walk you through the junior high one a little bit because that's the one that has a little bit more to it. The elementary thing that she brought, and I sent it to you guys, is the medical exemption.
Right.
Needs to be by a doctor, and that was proposed by our nurses.
I thought that was already in there.
No, so they were accepting.
First part was, but not
Yeah.
the second.
Yeah.
That's the second part, so, and since our nurses are gonna be the ones policing it, if they
Right.
want it in there, you're gonna get my support wholeheartedly.
No, that was
And
excellent.
then the high school, the only other addition he had in there was the bylaws for IHSA.
Yep.
So those are kind of requirements by IHSA, he wants to put them in there. Any questions for Mike on that before I move on to the junior high and we talk about Michelle, who's not here?
Oh,
Look at that.
Now, I noticed that for the junior high, they added in if you've had 3 out-of-school suspensions, you don't get to do promotion. Is that something that we would want to discuss to add to high school?
I'm sorry, I didn't read Michelle's.
She has to be added, to be eligible, students must have no more than 3 out-of-school suspensions during the school year, and attend required promotion practices to be able to walk. So she added in there that if they have more than 3 out-of-school suspensions, they can't walk.
I thought the state said they have to walk anyway, I can't charge, I can't.
So
fine
they
them.
can
I-
graduate, walking is a
Oh,
privilege.
privilege. Okay.
You can't hold them back from graduating.
Yeah, okay.
That's the difference.
Can't be-
You can't hold transcripts, you
Yeah.
can't hold degrees, but
Can't get their money.
you can't ask them.
No, I know.
I mean, how many, I feel like we don't have a lot of out-of-school suspensions, so I don't feel like that's undoable, but I don't know. I mean, 3 for junior high, you have 3, is it 3 per year or
Yeah.
3 for the
No,
whole?
it says 3 per school year.
Okay.
3 during the school year, so I'm assuming
Okay.
that's only in 8th grade.
I mean,
That'd
I
be
don't, I
my-
feel like we
Yeah.
don't have 3 out-of-school suspensions in high school as seniors that often, do you?
So seniors,
Per
no.
person?
I gotta,
Oh, yeah.
no.
If they're being
Not-
suspended that much
But
time.
the kids get more mature as they
They
get
do,
older.
I know.
and it, seriously,
Yeah.
it does get better. I
Yeah.
get you, we got some young ones that can't quite figure it out, but
But
yes.
it's in there though, they
The
can have
seniors.
certain things around social privilege.
We can do social promotion, or social.
I know, I just saw that and I was like, well, if we're
I don't
doing it for
know.
8th grade, I mean, could do it also, where it's the same.
I think
But I
that she wanted more teeth to it because
Yeah.
discretion, then why is this the one thing of discretion
Okay.
you come up with?
Yeah.
This allows a little more
Okay.
teeth to the policy.
And hopefully, if we nip it in the bud in junior high, it's not an issue in high school.
I know, okay, so, yeah. I mean, if it's like fighting and it's like this, okay, because I got some rear ends that can't figure out not to vape. Okay, so we're not gonna let them walk because they can't figure out how to vape. I mean, I get it, yes, you probably should be smarter than that, but.
I just didn't know if that would be something that would help with behavior. Like,
Yeah,
do you
maybe.
notice you're seeing
Maybe.
issues? Because like you said, they really want to do that, and the parents really want to make sure they do that. So would that make sure there was more accountability and more home support? That's all I was
I
getting
don't know,
at.
on graduation, I know it affects, if Bob and I, we talk about kids don't go to prom, prom's a big thing for some kids.
I think prom's
So we can
good.
take that away from them. Graduation walking.
See, I think that's cruel. I'm sorry.
I just saw it on there, so that's why
I
was
like taking the proms away, I like taking that stuff away, I like taking the singing trips away. I mean, I.
But you don't like doing it.
I don't,
You
but
like
I will
to do it. It's
support
inappropriate.
Yeah, I will support all of
I
it.
can't go to-
Graduation is, it's, I mean, unless you're a fighter and you can't get along with, yeah, but I don't, it's not in the handbook, so I guess it's kind of hard to.
Like I said, I didn't know. I saw it in the junior high, so that's why I brought it up, because I was like, I never had thought of it before.
Recording this?
Yeah.
They'll be able.
I can bleep it out.
Let them graduate.
For consideration.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine, and again, and if those individuals, you know, whatever, are at the graduation and causing a scene, we have an SRO that will
Yeah,
yank them out.
exactly.
And I think that allegedly there could, we thought there were gonna be problems a year or two ago because of some family. There might be problems this year because of some family, you never know, but that's why.
Well, that's what I was curious about, like,
SROs there.
how
Let's
do you
yank-
see the issues, like, do you
I
see
would
the
say
need for it?
walk 'em,
Because
if they're fools,
okay.
yank 'em.
Because I was gonna say, I didn't think there was, I don't really see a lot of out-of-school suspensions on your report.
Not for the most part,
And I really
no.
haven't seen a lot of, or heard a lot of those kind of big issues, so I was like, I don't know if that's necessary.
Yeah, no, not terrible.
Okay.
If we get some young ones, both, like I said, Jack, or Dr. Gaham, they usually figure it out by then.
I'd say if there's a kid that really has caused ruffled feathers, that would be a conversation. Yeah, I mean, it is.
That we
it's
sit down and
discipline
say,
policy
hey,
and other
Jimmy,
things.
any more fights, you're
Yeah.
not walking, and you're bombing it, this is what we're doing, this is our behavior plan,
Yeah.
any more fights or any more,
Okay.
you know, whatever.
So it
Because
could,
there is like a line that like you can add and
I'm okay
discipline
with
as
that.
appropriate by the administration, so I would
Yeah.
just,
But yes, I would go, it would be pretty
It's hard.
drastic, I guess,
Yeah.
because
I mean-
let them walk, maybe it's the only time we're gonna graduate anyway, so.
This is what I'm thinking. That might
I'll
be
say
the
though,
only
in
time.
26 years, I've only had 2 kids, not person, but like we've only had 2 kids not walk
all right,
and 2 committed felonies. So.
perfect. All right, junior high.
Oh, I was on junior high. We hadn't started junior
No, but
high?
then you start talking about the high school.
Well, no, because it was on junior high. That's
Okay.
why I just asked. if it
So
was-
that's one of the things she
Yeah.
mentioned was the promotion
Yeah.
through out-of-school suspensions. She does have the excessive referral addition, so it kind of puts a little more meat to that. She will amend the electronic devices on page 41, so that covers the bulk of it. The one thing is, this upcoming year, we have it set up to where there will be an 8th grade Spanish class. Mrs. Martinez will teach it, and so those students, if you look at the way the specials are written, those students will have PE/health as a class, and then Spanish. They won't have another elective because it's every day. So in your 8th grade year, you still could have an elective of health, art, computers, potentially music or math lab. In 7th grade, we're gonna do another year of a quarter of Spanish, health, art, computers, or math lab. Now, the reason we're still gonna have that quarter is because Ms. Martinez will also teach that elective, and then she'll kind of assess that year who should be in the 8th grade Spanish as part of
Yeah.
the selection of the 8th grade Spanish class. And then 6th grade, Spanish is no longer an elective there. Ms. Martinez will actually do her plan at that time. So you only have health, art, computers/typing is what she has here, and then math lab. So in 6th grade, every student, regardless of their skill set or their skill level, will have math lab, where they do it's kind of like a block math time, because at the junior high, we have double block reading, we have reading and ELA. They don't have double block math. As a board and as a school district, we're trying to push math. So as your 6th grade year, everybody will basically have an extra quarter of math that Michelle will work on making sure it's aligned to your level. Then when we get to 7th grade, that's when she'll start addressing it through IAR scores, similar to how she does MTSS right now. There will be a math lab elective that she will try to and pull kids into. Now, she's still working on how that looks. Right now, parents have the ability to opt out of MTSS at the junior high. She was probably still going to look at that possibility for the 7th and 8th graders. If you're in Spanish, 8th grade level, you're not in math lab. That is your only elective. So those kids, the first thing she's looking at is MTSS needs. So those kids are the ones that are gonna be, for a lack of a better term, this is not the word I want to use, but I can't think of a better word right now. Those kids are tracked because they're the ones that don't need additional assistance in core subjects.
They're getting specially designed instruction.
There we go. I like that as well.
SDI.
Which is also good, because if you don't pass your core classes in junior high, you don't move on. So I
Yep.
mean, I wouldn't know why we would opt out,
Yep.
because then if we opt out and our kid fails,
My question, they still have study hall, right? Because kids who take
Yes.
band and chorus, that's what they lose, is study hall.
Yes. Midday, yeah.
The other question, because I can't remember, I know they do this with Algebra 1, because they know they have to have 2 years of a foreign language for college.
Not yet, but soon.
Well, a lot of schools require you to have 2 years though to
Oh.
apply. So if they take Spanish 1, will it appear on their high school transcript, like
Yeah.
Algebra 1? I never
Correct.
checked.
It will be a P. It does not count towards their GPA. It's going to, so it's kind of like a kid who comes in from another school district and has Spanish on their transcript.
Okay.
Steve will put it in there and says Spanish 1, P.
Okay.
Passing.
As I know they do Algebra 1, because they start in geometry, and I'm just like,
Yeah, but Algebra 1 here is not recognized in 8th grade as a high school accredited class.
so they still need to do the 4 years.
Correct.
Here to have that
Correct.
4 years of math.
Yes.
3.
3 is always required by the
Well,
state.
yeah.
But yes,
But they still have to do those years, but the Spanish, they won't have to necessarily.
correct, because the Spanish here is going to be taught by an accredited high school teacher
Okay.
and following the high
Okay.
school curriculum.
So they'll have, because I know someone will ask like, they
Why?
start in Spanish 2 and then they're done after freshman year.
Yeah.
And we hope that that opens up.
And that's really what we're
foods
trying to
and
do.
home ec and business classes
Yeah.
and accounting. and-
Because
Now-
I paid to do it on my own for that
And to
reason.
be, and the other side of that, and again, I'm not trying to type or pigeonhole kids, if they're in 8th grade Spanish 1, there's a high probability these are the kids who are probably gonna make the
Through.
Spanish 4.
Yep.
And then we
Yeah.
might be able, in the
Spanish
long run,
5.
when Mike is retired and whoever replaces him,
Oh.
have an AP Spanish
Spanish
class
5.
that these kids can take their 4th year. So, I mean,
Yeah, I want to
this
say
is,
no to that. We're not retired.
Yeah.
Is that the only foreign language Beecher offers?
Yes.
for right now, yes. So, once the state
Good
requires me, we're,
My kids took German.
I took German.
Here we go.
We're talking about the potential of ASL.
Yeah.
Could we ask the kids what
I
Spanish,
like
what
that.
foreign language they would want?
No, because it's what job we could fill.
Correct.
I mean, I'm sorry.
No,
You
that's
can, you
really-
can
that's
ask the
really-
kids and they'd be like, oh, I want Mandarin.
Yeah.
Cool
Correct.
story, bro.
Right.
We can't hire a Mandarin
Correct.
teacher. So,
Correct. But I like that. Sign that.
I like the sign language.
No, yeah, but no one will.
it's
say-
what job
That's
you
not
can
qualified.
fill.
Yeah, that's
They're
not-
gonna take the class because they have to have
Should've had that.
two foreign languages, and if they can't get into Spanish,
They
they'll
just-
have to take ASL.
No, they can just
Well,
take it privately.
I'm really good at the one thing.
That's it. That's all I know. That's it.
All right.
Asianology, Spanish.
Yeah.
We're number one, that's what Brad's
Any
talking
other questions for?
No, but I do like the social probation thing that she added. To where once they're on social probation to extracurricular activities, the parent has to accompany them to the activities. I'm hoping that helps a lot in the issues at the junior high at games and stuff. Because she added that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she
Where is
said,
that?
Yeah,
so
I like
on
that.
her, she says, once social probation is
that one in. I
lifted,
don't
students are
remember that.
required to be accompanied by a parent or guardian at all extracurricular activities and must remain seated with them through the event. Because if they don't, then they won't get to go to the events anymore.
Just as long as, like, well, Mrs. Weiss is gonna be gone, just as long as those other supervisors get that
Yes.
information.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, it's gonna fall through the
And
cracks.
that's gonna be the question, because I know some people have
That's
asked
hard.
about making sure
Yep, that's
that
hard.
adults comply. Can I ask, because somebody did ask, I know there was somebody who had that as a punishment. Is it accompanied by, it says parent or guardian? So like, it's not like their neighbor. I can't bring her kid and say I'm watching her
No,
kid.
guardian.
I would hope it's guardian, yeah, I'd hope it's.
It says
mom, dad,
guardian,
or-
parent or guardian.
Legal
Legal
guardian or
designee.
just guardian?
Should say
Right.
legal.
Because someone had their
Add
neighbor
that,
bring the
legal
kid in
guardian.
I was
Yeah, but
thinking
I mean, your
I'll
guardian
bring
could
the
be an
kid.
older sibling.
Correct.
God, and I wouldn't even know,
And they're not even-
you know, I may not know their parents anyway. Whoever walks in,
That's what I'm
okay, there's an
saying.
adult with that kid, just sit down and shut up.
But someone, and I was like, you gotta call the school. I don't know. I don't know who they are
Yeah, I
either.
don't even, that's, oof. Sorry.
Yeah, well, maybe we
sidebar.
should add.
I know.
No, add legal designee and not guardian. 'cause
Well, but
legal
you said it's
designee-
guardian.
But
and
parent-
Guardians on
of
everything.
How they're
Yeah,
listed.
guardian's how they
separate, you
identify as
guys,
power
yeah.
school. You just can't say parent because,
Yeah.
It may not be.
Grandparents,
Grandma,
yeah.
auntie,
but no,
Growers and
but Mike's cousin's brother can't bring my kid to the game because, oh, it's my guardian for it.
Because he's an
Yeah,
adult.
for an hour.
It's not an adult, it doesn't say adult.
doesn't say adult.
It says guardian.
Yeah.
Sometimes the
Wait,
parents are.
any
like
other
that.
questions about the junior high? Good. Nope.
This is like
Moving
nice
on to
teaching.
the elementary. Anyone have questions about the elementary? It's just in the wrong spot.
No?
It only has the one little one,
I don't.
just the health one. from
Because
the
it's,
health
it's
one.
by
I
parents and
love that
healthcare providers
And
is
that
under
just
the
makes
religious.
Yeah, that's all that was on.
That is perfect.
I mean,
it's
and
religious.
when they would do
She
their
was
cell
health,
phone thing,
so-
so.
Right.
No, this is based on, you can't claim a religious exemption by CVS. Is what this is saying.
And it could, I didn't.
That is
You-
perfect.
Yes.
Okay.
Are they adding that recess thing at the elementary school to the handbook, or is that just restating the handbook?
The recess thing.
The one sheet that Mrs. Black created about the recess, you know, like
The
the.
responsibilities or
Yeah.
whatever.
Oh, that
Is
is,
that just, that's just restating the handbook, isn't it?
Well, the responsibilities isn't in the handbook, that's just
Yeah.
like the job description for the people.
that,
Yeah, that's the-
that's
that was
part, yeah,
one
that
for
was
the
designated for
teachers.
the staff.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be in the student handbook.
Or, yes, yeah, I guess that's- okay, any other questions about the elementary? Any other issues? No public comment. I don't think we need a motion because it's not a meeting, so we shall adjourn at 5:14.
Excellent.